I just watched Materialists, and like every single character in the movie sucked. And I think I know why. I'm Real Slim KD25. Let's get into it. And if you haven't seen Materialists yet, go ahead and save this to watch later and come back once you have, because I'm going to get into spoiler territory. So, my first thing is I just don't know if I'm a fan of Dakota Johnson. I don't think it's her fault. I think her like resting face is just super slappable. The personality of every character she plays just seems like somebody I would think is a total bitch in real life. So I'm trying to overcome that. And I feel bad because I know I'm basically making this actress work twice as hard to earn. And I feel bad because there's no real reason. Like there's nothing she's ever done that I don't like her for. I just feel like we wouldn't get along in real life. And I knew that this character wasn't going to be any different in like the first scene when she's talking about this guy and she's like, well, this guy only made 150K a year. Only 150K a year? Do you know how happy I'd be if I made half of that? Do you know how happy I'd be if I made a quarter of that? Do you know how happy I would be if I made 20% of that? Like that shit pissed me the fuck off. And I started to realize that I think this will be a theme. Obviously, her character is a matchmaker, and she talks about people very much in the way of like their properties and their attributes, thinking analytically about love and matchmaking. And of course, this is meant to be ironic. It is meant to feel a little dehumanizing talking about their qualities like that. But genuine question, do people care about the height of their partners? Like this movie made me believe that people might genuinely talk about that or consider that. And I thought that was genuinely something that people made up for movies. So obviously, it's really interesting hearing people talk about attributes on a checklist as if you can find a person to fit this amazing, magical mystery that you've built up in your head. And again, that's totally the point of what these characters are going through, is that you can't find that, and relationships take work and sacrifice. But it really is infuriating to watch these people seem so entitled to love. But one thing I did love is when she got that party for getting those people married, there was a goth girl there, and I never see goth girls in movies just because. Like, there's never just like a goth background actor, but there was, and I like that. I like that a lot. I think Celine's song is awesome. Past Lives, brilliant. But when Dakota Johnson was talking about needing somebody to change your diapers and the phrase grave buddy, paired perhaps with how Dakota Johnson delivered it, I just hated that. I hated it so much because Dakota Johnson does have a way of making things seem like she doesn't give a shit about them at all. And maybe one of the most infuriating scenes in the movie is when she goes to the wedding of these people. Obviously, she meets Pedro Pascal, but this woman is getting cold feet. And this can go on record. If I am that sad or trepidatious on my wedding day, fucking shoot me. If I am not enthusiastic, filled with love and joy to marry the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, then literally kill me. I understand what she's talking about when she mentions like business, like marriage is a business deal. It's a partnership. Like, what do you get from it? But how fucking selfish to the other person to marry them to make somebody else jealous. While that is not a violent thing to do, I think that's just a horrible thing to do to another person. And I hated her. And also, Dakota Johnson was talking about you can walk away if the deal doesn't work for you anymore. Crazy to talk about a partner like that, especially a life partner, because to me, that commitment is serious. Like, if you are committing that to marriage, you are saying, I'm going to make this person a priority, a part of my life plan. Being so blasé when somebody else's feelings in life are now intertwined with yours, that shit pisses me off. Also, in the same scene, Pedro talks about once you get your first $400 haircut, you never go back. How could a haircut be $400? Somebody enlighten me. Are they using shampoo made with Wagyu beef? How sharp can the scissors be? Like what? I don't understand. I genuinely feel like I'm too poor to understand. Somebody enlighten me, please. I haven't even gotten to Chris Evans yet, and his character pisses me off. Why are you complaining about being broke when you have a car in New York? You don't need a car in New York. You don't fucking need a car in New York. Sell it. And if you're going to be broke in New York, if you're going to be broke anywhere, at least be smart about it. Don't be broke and be like, I need to spend all this money on parking and dinner. Okay, well, if you're going to do that, plan ahead. Eat cheap the rest of the week. Set aside money a month earlier. You can be poor and smart. He was poor and dumb. I fucking hate when people are poor and dumb. Like, if you're gonna be poor and you know you're gonna be poor, fucking get real with yourself. And blah, blah, blah. They get into a relationship. Pedro's eyes could melt 1,000 suns. And then we get to this assault subplot when this movie was like marketed as a rom-com. And the thing that stuck out most to me is that she didn't even consider this to be a possibility. And honestly, for that character, I'm happy for you. What a life of privilege you must lead to set people up on dates for a living and not even have considered assault as a possibility. I'm happy that she's never had to experience that. And genuinely, I do think there's very little that she could have done to understand that, right? Because people are horrible and they will hide their true colors. I don't consider it directly her fault. However, what is her fault is stalking, showing up at this poor girl's, wherever the fuck she was, workout class or whatever the fuck. She literally looks at her, walks away. She's communicating. She does not want to have this interaction. She's following her, chasing her down. Dude, this poor girl was assaulted and it was indirectly your fault. And now because you need to feel better, you're going to make her day worse? You remind her of what happened, you piece of shit. And then later in the movie when she's like, I suck, I'm mean. I'm like, yeah, you are, you piece of shit. I did enjoy when they went to the play, when Pedro Pascal was like, can't believe you remembered all those lines. That's how I knew Celine Song was a real theater girly, because that's the funniest fucking thing you can say to somebody at a play. It is hands down the funniest thing you can say to anybody after a play. Because it's like, yeah, that's like part of the job. It's like going to McDonald's and being like, wow, can't believe you know how to make burgers. Like, yeah, that's the whole thing. Fun Easter egg is that the play, the poster for the play was written by Celine Song, which is a cute nod. I would do the same thing if I made a movie. I saw a take that she confided in him, in Chris Evans. I can't remember their names because I just didn't like them a lot. Because she felt more comfortable with him. Of course she felt more comfortable with him. Here's my problem, okay? They're setting up this rom-com, right? Pedro Pascal, they didn't have time to get to know each other. First of all, one of the faults of his character is that he's just like, great, now we're in a relationship. I think he's fucking aromantic, bro. I think he's aromantic, low-key. And his character, his whole character, like, kind of speeds through this relationship. I mean, they barely know each other. She starts living in his place. And they don't really make an effort to get to know each other deeper. Or at least we're not shown that on screen. And they're like, well, I don't love you. Girl, you just got together. And I haven't even really seen either of you try to get to know each other. Also, I believe chemistry exists. But also, love is a choice. Love is an effort that you get by knowing people. Like, love is an amazing feeling. But you also have to put work into a relationship to get out all of the things that you want in it. And honestly, fuck her for bringing that whole thing up after she saw the leg thing. Anyways, I do feel like they had a very mutual breakup. I would have still taken the trip to Iceland. What a dumb bitch. Like, even if you're not dating, you could still go have a nice week together. I honestly think they could have bonded. Like, I genuinely think they could have gotten somewhere in their relationship if they'd put in the time and effort, but whatever. I understand her, and the original reason they broke up, I understand that she didn't want money to be an issue in her life. That is valid. I think it is valid to not want to have to worry about things, but obviously love transcends, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's the thing, though. If she's going to choose that lifestyle, girl, you have to be okay with it. It's crazy that he literally pours his heart out to her. And also, she tries to fucking use him again. She really does. If he didn't say this whole, like, I love you spiel, she really was going to take him to that fucking wedding, try to make out with him, try to fuck him, and then let him go again. Because she really is a piece of shit. I really think that. And then he pours his heart out to her, and she's like, yeah, you do have a shit car. You do have a shit apartment. I'm like, girl, can you just be nice for once? You don't even need to say that. You could just say, I love you too. Like, I'm glad that the moral of the story is whatever the fuck, chase your love, and love transcends material assets. Ha, ha, ha. I did think it was a very cute callback to the original scene when he made her the little flower ring. But honestly, like, I enjoyed this movie. I'm complaining about it. I enjoyed the entire time watching it. I was enjoying myself. Also, can I say this? This is gonna be a hot take. I don't think she was rich enough to be as picky as she was. Like, I make such little money, and I know that, but isn't it presumptuous of me to be like, I want to be filthy fucking rich? Okay, girl, work harder then. I don't want to be rich. That's not a goal of mine. My goal is to do fulfilling work that makes me happy and brings me joy and brings joy to others. But if she wants to be really fucking rich, okay, do it then. Chase your dreams. But crazy that she's unwilling to, like, go to school. If she wants anything above anything in the world, she wants to be rich. Make it happen. You know what I mean? She's just, like, trying to marry into it with zero work, which is crazy. obviously it's not as easy as just, okay, if you want to be rich, right? But it's crazy that she's literally just like, no, I want somebody else to give me money and provide for me. It's just such an entitled attitude. I could never. Also, I could never imagine feeling that entitled to my partner's wealth. Anyways, at the end, I feel like all of the characters were flawed, except, I don't know, Chris Evans' character, I'm sure there was worse to him. Probably the worst part about him is that how he treated himself and how little self-respect he had for himself. Pedro Pascal was perfect, by the way, too. Except for the fact that he didn't communicate and he tried to buy a relationship without actually forging a connection. Also, she didn't try that hard either. So I hate when a movie makes me feel like women are bad. It makes me feel so anti-feminist when I don't like female characters. And I do like women. Look at me. I love women. I just don't think I like her. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I think Materialists, at the end of the day, it's not made for me. I think it's made for people who live in New York who make anywhere from 50K plus. I think if you're poor, this movie is going to piss you off. Gonna really piss you off. Anyways, if you like this, me and my best friend Louie make videos like this all the time, so please subscribe and leave a comment. Am I crazy? Am I crazy about this movie? I love hearing what you guys have to say, and I'd love to not feel crazy. So please let me know who you thought the worst character in this movie was down below. Anyways, I gotta go. I'm gonna go get a job as a cater waiter. I don't know, man. I can't even think of a funny tag because the movie pisses me off. Anyways, bye!